It's Only the Packaging by Lorraine James of Mossvale 2577. Narrated by Rowena Robinson. When was it that I started to feel old? Well, so far, never. Not really. You know, not in the mind. There are a few achy bits now and then, I admit, but generally it is my plan to remain a box of birds. Are all news reporters under 30 years old? I ask this because it seems they regularly refer to anyone over 50 as elderly. For example, if at 65 I had been hit by a bus and actually achieved a mention in the news, the report would say, "Elderly woman survives road accident." For heaven's sake! At 65 I was running a business, climbing ladders, in my prime. 20 years later I am still running that business. It's 45 years old, more than half my age. But I no longer do ladders. That's wisdom. A major positive. Wisdom keeps on growing every day we are alive. At 60, I began to think about the word never to be spoken. Aging. The parents were complaining about it. Not me, it'll never happen to me, I told myself. So, as a form of assurance, I made the list. I've always been a compulsive list maker. According to my mother, in 1960, when I was 21 and planning my wedding, which she told me, I organised entirely on my own, although Mum and Dad paid, something really critical on the list went out of plumb, which resulted in a major drama. Well, in my mind, apparently. Upon reflection, a bit of drama has always added spice to my life. My prospective husband, a relaxed sort of bloke at 32 years old, and therefore having already achieved 32% of his wisdom, remarked to my mother, "Well, bang goes that list." So at 65, I added a really important list to my lifetime of lists and gave it a title. Old Duckdom. I added a stern reminder, to be avoided at all costs. The list contained a resolute itemization of plans with the addition of a few tips. Same old stories. Try very hard to remember which reminiscence you've told to whom. Money. Don't be a meanie. Some oldies are just plain stingy. Granny in the corner. Something to say? Don't bother. Nobody younger will be interested. Wear whatever you like, wherever you like. Invisibility has its advantages. Name all those people in the faded photographs. Unlikely to be appreciated or incite interest, but never mind. Tidy up and throw away. Sort and discard. Someone will have to tidy up after you. Write it down. Your life is yours. It's exclusive. There is no other exactly like it, and it is worth everything to you. So record it, not only for your own fulfillment, but also to prove that you actually existed at all. Well, that was the list. So far I have passed 3 and failed 4. I must strive to do better, as suddenly time seems to be on the overdrive. What is that? The speed of time which appears to accelerate the older we get. Well, I put it down to keeping busy. There is far too much to complete in a day. Forget the housework or creating trendy meals. I keep company with wisdom. At 84%, I'm getting towards top marks, but I very much doubt I want to achieve 100%. It sounds far too rickety, and that leads to another word never to be spoken. Death. Mark Twain said, "I do not fear death. I had been dead for billions and billions of years before I was born and had not suffered the slightest inconvenience from it. How sensible that is. I'm glad I've dealt with that subject in such a reassuring manner. You see, that's wisdom for you. Lately, I've become aware that I don't see myself as others see me. Does that concern me? Well, yes. I am appalled to realize it does, as recently I experienced the following encounter. Here I am, capably hauling groceries into the boot of my car, when a voice says, "Can I help you with that?" And I turn to see a stranger, a woman who is at least 70, who is smiling at me in what I perceive to be a sympathetic way. I snap, "No thanks." And then, sitting behind the wheel preparing to drive off, I feel absolutely dreadful. How could I have been so horrible to such a kind person? What was that? Pride, or worse, vanity rearing its head. How can it be that outside I must look so terribly old when inside I feel just as sparky as I have throughout all of my life? The same zest, the same sense of humour, at times the same happiness or sadness or irritability, or worse, anger. The same love and appreciation of family, friends, and all things aesthetic. I turn my head and there is wisdom, looking at me through the driver's window with an expression of such understanding and saying, "That is correct. The essence of you has remained the same. Inside, you are no different. It's only the packaging." The end.